y'all, it's your girl Arisza, and I want to spend some time just talking to you for a moment on some things that have been coming to my attention just as it comes to mental health professionals, should I say, becoming managers and bosses and all that good stuff. I know a lot of people try to jump in, they have group practices, they work with partnerships and all that good stuff. And it's a certain skill set you have to have when you start managing people. And my background is heavy in management. You know, that's something else that you guys might not know about me, but I've oversaw sites and did management and supervisory director level roles for about 10, 15 years before I decided to jump out and branch on my own. So yeah, you know, it takes a certain skill set. You want to know what that skill set is? Stay tuned to this video and I will let you know exactly what it is, how to do it, and how to be good at it for sure. So for those who don't know, let me back up. My name is Arisza Hillman. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a test prep guru. I have my other channel you guys might be able to see, LCSW Vibes. Yes, that's my other channel where I help people level up and pass their exams so they can move over here to this channel and learn how to get the bag. Yes, how to make that money, honey. Yeah. People be thinking social workers and other mental health professionals and all that stuff just don't be making no money. They just be stressed and yanking their hair out. And, you know, we be doing that too, but we could also make money while we do it. And I'm going to show you how you can do just that and leave all the other nuances of the headaches and the stressors and all the other things alone. It doesn't need to be that way for sure. All right. So we're going to jump into this video real quick and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what strategies and things you can do so you can be a better boss. Because, you know, sometimes therapists make the worst bosses until they kind of learn these techniques. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow along, write your notes, do whatever you need to do. And I'm going to break it down and tell you why therapists make the worst bosses. And before you come to me, let's be real. We're trained to listen, we're trained to validate, we're trained to be empathetic, but not necessarily to delegate, to hold boundaries, or to fire people. But if your team is draining you instead of filling you and feeding you and freeing you, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you how you can go from a solo provider to a CEO and shift that mindset and be hella successful. First and foremost, you can't scale a practice with the same mindset you used to get it started. That's where we're going to start. So when you first start your practice, you're the marketer, you're the clinician, you're the scheduler, you're the janitor, you're everything. So think about right now where you are in your business. You're doing all of that stuff. Some of you guys. But once you bring in your first contractor or either your first intern or your first admin, your role shifts from I do it all to now I build systems that does it all. All right. Leadership is no longer about clinical competence. It's about vision. It's about boundaries. It's about communication. Your mindset, guys, has to shift. You have to go from that caretaker mentality to the conductor. You're not abandoning your empathy. You're just redirecting it to build something that's a little bit more sustainable. Because that's what happens. You try to do it all and empathizing and all this stuff, and it drains you out. So remember, you can't lead from your therapy chair. You have to stand up, step back, take a step back, and see the full picture. I like to look at things from a bird's eye view, and that helps me make better and more qualified and more quality decisions. So here we go. Most therapists hire emotionally, not strategically. That's number one. That's the first thing you got to be mindful of when it comes to hiring. Hiring someone because you like their vibe or you like the how they feel or, oh, they remind me so much of so-and-so or they remind me of myself, and that's not going to cut it, guys. You got to hire based on the role clarity, based on the values. Make sure they align with you and your business, not off your friendship and how you feeling, you know? Number two, you got to avoid conflict, which a lot of social workers do. They just avoid conflict. They don't like conflict, so they avoid it. And you do have to avoid conflict, but you do have to handle and be ready for it as well. So you got to be able to address certain performance issues early on when people ain't doing what they're supposed to do. You want to document expectations from day one. You want to create a feedback culture, letting people know, hey, you're doing really well with dealing with your clients and blah, 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 but I really need you to get that paperwork in on time. You holding them accountable, address it early. You want to hire people, but you got to have systems in place. So get your onboarding checklist, your communication tools, your payroll systems, all of that stuff you want to have locked and loaded before you bring on your first person. Because the reality of it is you can't expect a new therapist to just know. And I'm guilty of it. I'm like, they should know how to do that. Oh, they should know how to do that. They should know how to do that. No, your workflow is your workflow, and it needs to be written down and it needs to be systematic so people can understand and know what it says and what they're supposed to do. Supervision versus management. What carries over and what doesn't? This is totally different. Clinical supervision is not business management. In my practice, I do clinical supervision with you or I do business management. I do not do both. The roles become too confusing and we both get stressed out. Supervision is where I'm developing their clinical judgment. I'm helping them to know how to do certain things. Management is about me helping them develop that consistency and that accountability piece. So when it comes to this in supervision, I can hold a space for them to be uncertain. But in management, no, you got to know what you're supposed to know because it's written there and you're supposed to follow. I'm more decisive. So many clinicians kind of do a lot of different functions, especially when you have your own practice. You're seeing the staff, you're the supervisor, you're the manager, you rescuing them, you accommodating them, you avoiding them being uncomfortable, all of that stuff. You got to use your skills to the best of your ability. You want to use reflection, you want to use empathy, yeah, you want to do all of that. But you want to back it up with system, structure, and accountability nonetheless. And that is what I do. In my practice specifically, I have someone that does all the clinical work, that does all the reviewing of the paper, context, and all that kind of stuff. Supervision, they do that with her and she builds the clinician. She helps them develop those skill sets. And for me, I stay in the managerial role. But if I supervise them, they don't work in my practice and I stay in the supervisory role. So I've always been really, really good at setting boundaries. And I think that's what helps me. True leadership is about creating a culture that lives when you're not around or when you're not in the room. So I think that I've done it enough that over a period of time, people have adopted that style and they understand the culture of me setting firm boundaries and not being friends with the people I work with. So you got to understand when you're creating a culture within the workplace, you're not only looking at maybe say the values and the systems and all that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that you have that consistency piece, that people actually know what to do and how they're supposed to do a thing. That is really, I'm not going to say really good, but that is the culture you want to have or you want to put within your business. Micromanagement, ooh, baby, that kills morale and it kills retention. And that is something that I don't like people micromanaging me, so I do not micromanage other people. So when people need to be micromanaged, it gets me a little uncomfortable because I don't like it. We're all adults. Now, empowerment isn't just something that happens naturally for people. You know, a lot of managers have a hard time empowering people. You know, they rather micromanage people. And that's a big difference. Micromanagement, like I said, can kill the morale and retention, but empowerment, you basically are giving them the freedom so they can make their own choices and take the direction they want to go into, basically. That is pretty much what empowerment is. And you can do this by having weekly team meetings. You can share the wins. You can be transparent about communication, about your retention strategy, all that kind of stuff. You want to be out in the open. You're empowering your team to see those aspects of you and how you're able to help them. You want to build that ownership culture, like where everyone feels like they're invested in the outcomes. Is not just tasks. They're all invested. The goal for you as a leader, as a manager in your practice, isn't to be needed. The goal is to be known. People know you as a leader. They know you built something and they know that it lasts, but they don't need to be knowing like other aspects of you. You know, they need to understand who you are in your role. That's pretty much it. You don't have to have someone choose, or you don't have to choose between being a great clinician and being a strong leader. You don't have to choose between being those two. So if you're ready to stop managing chaos and start leading with clarity, come join my community. Yes, baby. I got a community over here for you guys that are starting your business, trying to elevate, trying to level up. Make sure you hit us at business.coachingtheelite.com. Yes, we meet every week for about an hour and we go over all the things that's helping your business scale and grow. So if you're getting stuck on the LLC part or don't know what to name your business or how to complete your CAQH or what you need to do to be a private practice provider, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, your girl got you. So make sure you tap in, you join the community. And if you want one of these little cheat sheets and checklists, join the community. I got them all in there too. All right. Thank you so much for staying with me and watching this video. I hope you understand how you can manage people and lead without doing the micromanagement, but empowering them to be the best version of themselves. And I guarantee you this is going to be hella helpful when you hire your first admin, your first intern, your first independent contractor. I don't know whoever it is you're going to hire, but you're going to be able to level up and help them do it as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, make sure you put them in the comment section because you know your girl checks them all. Talk to you in the next one.